What's up, guys? We're here with Friday NFL football action here for week 13. We'll take a deep dive on the Bears versus Eagles. I'll give out my favorite bets against the spread and over under, and we're going to look at a bunch of NFL player props. Also, we're going to cover some of the biggest college football games today, so buckle up. We have a great video for you in this one. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and player availability being confirmed. No major recap here, guys. Recording this one a little bit early. I will mention, though, that last week we ended up going 6-4 against the spread there on our premium college football picks a week ago, covering the entire week. So definitely want to get in on that. I will also mention that this is the best time ever to sign up for a premium membership over there at stumpthespread.com. Our Black Friday prices have things discounted at least 33% and all the way up to around 50%, I believe. So it's a fantastic time to get in the door the first time ever and to add on to your current membership at that drastically reduced rate. So definitely get over there and check that out. Let's go ahead and dive in, though. We've got a very solid NFL game to cover and then a few college football games to look at. And first up, we're going to be looking at the Chicago Bears as they go on the road here to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Bears come into this game 8-3 on the season, and I am not ashamed to say that this is completely shocking to me. They've won their last 4 games in a row, and when you look at their strength of schedule, it does make a lot more sense. They've also been winning a lot of these games in very close fashion. Their last time out, a 31-28 win there over the Steelers, a 2-point win over the Vikings, a 4-point win over the Giants, and a 5-point win in that crazy high-scoring game there against Cincinnati. So we will see if they can continue this incredible run here. They're about to take on an Eagles team, which honestly looks like maybe their toughest test of the season. I suppose taking on maybe a team like the Detroit Lions early in the year might have been a bigger test, but we'll see what they can get done. Now, in their win last week over the Steelers, a nice, solid, productive day there from Caleb Williams. 19 of 35, 239 yards to the air, 3 passing touchdowns, sacked 1 time, no interceptions. We didn't necessarily hate what we saw from the running game. Caleb Williams was actually decent on the ground, 4 carries for 21 yards. As a team, they had 1 rushing touchdown and 99 yards on 25 carries. So let's not act like this was some sort of monster ground performance. It really wasn't anything too special, but the passing game looked great. DJ Moore caught 5 out of his 7 targets for 2 touchdowns in 64 yards. Rome Odunze caught 3 out of 9 targets for 53 yards. Not exactly a great day for him, but a good day across the board. We did see Swift and Caleb Williams both fumble the ball away once. That definitely did not help make this game a lot closer. Now, let's keep in mind, they won this game against the Steelers' backup quarterback, Mason Rudolph, so let's not freak out too much, but they played okay defensively, came with an interception, a couple sacks. They did get pretty much messed up there by the running game, something that should be a sizable concern here going up against the Eagles, who are a team that are capable of running the ball, although they have struggled in that department a little bit this season. They did generate 2 total turnovers, so it wasn't a bad day. They did a good job of slowing down the passing game, obviously, but it was a backup quarterback that they were facing, so I'm not exactly ready to throw the Bears defense a parade for giving up 28 points there against the second unit for the Steelers. So we'll see what they've got in store this week. They are 27th in the NFL, giving up 26.5 points per game. Not exactly amazing numbers, but this team has a great record. All that being said, they are somehow 8-3 on the season despite giving up 3 more points than they have scored this year. That's kind of nuts. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Their injury report looks fairly clean offensively coming into this game. Not a lot of big concerns, so that is a big deal. At this point in the season to be healthy is very impressive. Defensively, almost their entire starting lineup is questionable. By almost, I mean 6 out of 11 guys are questionable. Very banged up there on the defensive line. All of their starting linebackers are questionable for this game. The secondary looks okay. Stevenson is questionable there at cornerback. We'll see if he ends up playing in this game. He did not practice there on Wednesday. So definitely major injury concerns on the defensive side of the ball for the Chicago Bears, a team that's already not a great defensive squad. So we'll see what they can do here. They're going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles come into this game 8-3 on the season, fresh off an embarrassing collapse there in Dallas, eventually losing that game 24-21 after having things well in hand right out of the gates. They were out to a 14-0 lead. I believe they were up 21-0 at some point. It was 21-7 going into the second half. and things just did not work. They scored 0 points in the second half. Some very costly turnovers end up costing them the win in this game. Jalen Hurts actually played pretty well. 289 yards, 1 passing touchdown, no interceptions, sacked 1 time. He was not responsible for any of those turnovers. It was Saquon Barkley and Xavier Gibson who coughed the ball up and cost them this game. Hurts rushed for 2 touchdowns on 7 carries and had 33 yards. Saquon just can't seem to get it going. 10 carries for 22 yards for him, although I do think it's very, very possible he has a breakout day running the ball in this one against a pretty banged up Chicago Bears defense. We'll see how that goes. I am expecting a bounce back from him. A.J. Brown had a huge game, caught 8 out of 10 targets for 110 yards and a touchdown. Devonta Smith caught 6 out of 11 targets for 89 yards himself. Saquon had 52 receiving yards, caught almost all of his targets. So overall, a pretty decent day there for the offense. You take out those 2 turnovers and they win this game handily. Now, defensively, they gave up 24 points to the Cowboys, could not stop the passing game, which is probably their major concern. Well, actually, I would say their major concern in this one is stopping the run there of the Bears and making Caleb Williams try and beat them. We'll see if he's capable of that. Feels a bit up in the air to me. Defensively, giving up 24 points to the Cowboys, though, is not a bad day. They picked off Dak once. They sacked him once as well. Slowed down, but definitely did not stop the running attack there from Dallas. That is a concern. They need to be able to stop the run here against the Bears. I do think they are capable of doing a little bit better. There are no offensive weapons over there for the Bears like there are for Dallas. I mean, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, a very dynamic wide receiving duo. I don't think we're going to see the Eagles have any sort of the troubles they had last week this week. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Over the course of the season, they're 8th in the NFL, giving up only 20.5 points per game. Very, very solid work for the Eagles on defense, and I'm expecting good stuff from them. Now, the injury report is a little bit concerning here for the Eagles. Saquon is actually questionable for this game. We'll see if he's ready to go. He was a limited participant in practice already on Wednesday, though, so it seems very likely that he plays. Devonta Smith, he comes into this game dealing with a shoulder/chest/illness. He is questionable for this game and did not practice there on Wednesday. So that's a bit up in the air. That would be very unfortunate if he doesn't play. Leonard Dickerson and Lane Johnson both questionable there on the offensive line. That is a big, big deal. But what we're seeing right now would indicate that at least one, maybe both will play in this game, especially Dickerson. He was already practicing there. So yeah, I do expect to see him play. And Lane Johnson sounds very possible he suits up for this one as well. Defensively, they're very healthy. Reed Blankenship's the only guy on the injury report. He's questionable there at safety, but did practice already on Wednesday, so we expect to see him play in this game. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, the Eagles are -7. We've got a total of 44.5 in this game. Weather concerns, it is going to be pretty cold. 35 degrees, 14-mile-an-hour winds in this game, so passing the ball might not be the easiest thing, which isn't ideal for the Eagles, except for the fact we don't necessarily expect them to be trying to, do anything too crazy, although they still are capable of that, and 14-mile-an-hour winds, especially winds that are going to die down throughout the course of this game, really aren't a huge concern. Looking at the trends for this one, the Bears are 7-4 against the spread. They're 6-4-1 to the over. The Eagles are 7-4 against the spread as well. They are 6-5 to the under. Guys, in terms of our against the spread play, we're definitely taking the Eagles in this one, especially if you can get it back to 6.5. It would be great if it could get back to that number. It's touched that number a couple times this week. Hammer it if you get the chance. The Bears have done all their work against bad teams. The Eagles are in a massive bounce back spot after a bunch of dumb mistakes cost them the easy win over Dallas. Late game Caleb Williams magic isn't going to work against this Eagles defense, and they might not even be in reach for that. So definitely give me the Eagles here at -7. In terms of a total, I will lean slightly towards over 44.5 in this game, but it's a very, very slight lean, guys. Not getting involved in the total in this one in any major way. I do have a few player props that I like for this game quite a bit. First up, I'll take DJ Moore over 2.5 receptions in this game at -170. He got 5 of his 7 targets last week against the Steelers, and I fully expect something similar in this one. The Eagles are going to force the Bears to throw it. I think we see Caleb Williams find DJ Moore early and often in this game, so I certainly think he's in for a good day. I'll take Caleb Williams here over 209.5 passing yards at -115. The Eagles are going to try and shut down the run and force Caleb Williams to throw the ball. Will that result in a positive day for the Bears? That remains to be seen, but I do expect Williams to find a way to get over this number, especially a lot of desperation throwing could happen late in this game. I'll take Caleb Williams here over 20.5 rushing yards at -114. He's been over this number in all of his last 5 games. I think here in a standalone game against a team that's going to find ways to pressure him, I think he ends up needing to take off enough times to get over this relatively small number. Honestly, if everything sets up correctly, he can get over this number in just 1, maybe 2 rushing attempts. I also like Jalen Hurts here under an interception. I expect him to not throw any interceptions in this game. He hasn't been picked off in any of his last 5 games. I don't think he's been picked off in 9 out of his last 10, if I remember correctly. I expect him to continue to take great care of the ball and going against a Bears defense that doesn't really scare me. I see this play having some very solid value despite not the best price tag. Hey guys, hop in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. And right now is the best time of the entire year to get in on those premium picks over there at Stump the Spread. We have a team of experts covering all the major sports: NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball. Those are all sports that are going on right now. How crazy is that, guys? What a fantastic time to get in the mix and take advantage of all that analysis that's been being done by a team of experienced cappers. Every single guy over there has over a decade's worth of experience covering his given sport. So definitely want to get in there. And right now is the best time of the year because the prices are the lowest for our Black Friday sale. You'll be saving at least 33% on any package that you purchase. 2 weeks, 1 month, a year. All of those are drastically discounted. You can save a bundle if you purchase a yearly membership right now, guys. You get an entire year of picks, and it's a very, very low one price situation. So definitely want to get in on that, guys. Those prices will not last forever. You still got a couple days, though, so get in on that now. We've got tons of action coming up on NFL Sunday. College football Saturday is in for a big, big day. Tons of picks in there. And, of course, we've got daily NBA, college basketball, UFC going on all the time, NBA going on. NHL has been running red hot, cashing a big underdog play there yesterday. So tons of great reasons to get in the mix over there and sign up at StumpTheSpread.com for a premium membership. But you also want to get over there and take advantage of all the free stuff we offer. There's our free to use bet size calculator. Make sure you're not blowing your entire bankroll on 1 or 2 bad days. That's very, very important for any serious sports bettor to take bankroll management seriously. You also want to get over there and check out our daily free picks that are posted under the free picks tab every single day. Those are a fantastic resource as well. And you want to get over there and get on our free email newsletter, guys. It's a fantastic resource every single day. We send out an email to everybody on that list, at least 1, oftentimes 2 or 3 free picks in that email. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, tennis, crazy stuff you would never even consider betting before. Also, parlays are included in those emails. Tons of NFL props every single weekend, touchdown props, all kinds of great props in there. Cashed a big plus 500 last week. It's a very, very solid resource, guys. You definitely want to get in on that. It's been a great, great thing to have. Definitely sending out plenty of free value there in those emails every single day. And it's very easy to sign up. You just click the little link down in the description to go to StumpTheSpread.com or type StumpTheSpread.com into your browser of choice. Click that little green login button at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That'll prompt you to set up a free account. All they're going to ask for is your name and your email address. That is it. You get 1 email straight to your inbox every single day with all that great information. So definitely want to take advantage of that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single week to one random YouTube channel member. We put the name of every single channel member on a big wheel. We spin that wheel, and whoever it ends up landing on, guys, get a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their inbox, or straight to their mailbox. So definitely get in on that if you're interested. Love doing those giveaways. We're gonna be doing one of those every single week from here on out. So you definitely want to get in on that. And let's go ahead and dive back in now, guys. We've got several very solid plays on a busy little day of college football out there on Friday. So let's go ahead and hop in and look at that. First up, we've got the Iowa Hawkeyes going on the road to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Iowa comes into this game 7-4 on the season. They're fresh off a nice 20-17 win there over Michigan State. A win that snapped a 2-game skid, albeit 2 very tough opponents there, losing against Oregon by 2 points and losing at USC by 5. So they've been playing well, just coming up a little bit short. 1-score games can be pretty tough. Now, in that 1-score win there over Michigan State, we liked what we saw from Iowa. A pretty reasonable quarterback play, although nothing too special. We loved what we saw in the ground game, though. Very impressive stuff there. Moulton, Gronowski, very, very solid. As a team, they had 39 carries, 154 yards there on the ground. So very, very good work. They did fumble the ball away once and had that 1 interception, so a couple turnovers really could have burned them in this game, but They do eventually end up surviving this scare, thanks in large part to their defense, only giving up 17 points. Came with an interception in this game, only gave up 255 yards to a pretty determined passing attack there from the Spartans. Shut down the Spartans' rushing attack. Very, very good work there. Only generated that one turnover, but still, anytime you're giving up only 17 points in a college football game is very, very good work. And this Iowa team in general this season has been excellent defensively, 9th in the NCAA, giving up 15.1 points per game. Like, that is absolutely bonkers. That's why they've had a decent, better than average season out there in the Big Ten this year. That defense has really, really been a monster. We'll see if that defense can hold up here on the road. They're taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who come into this game fresh off a 37-10 blowout loss there at Penn State. It's been a little bit rough. They did manage to take down a pretty mediocre UCLA team the week before, but it has not been smooth sailing here for Nebraska. Injuries can really do that to a team, and without their starting quarterback, things did not look great last week. Only 187 yards to the air, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The running game looked okay. I mean, Emmett Johnson, 103 yards on 19 carries, no touchdowns. That was vultured by the backup quarterback there, but really not looking like too dynamic of an offense. Only putting up 10 points despite not turning the ball over is crazy, crazy work. This team just is not looking the same there, and you could say that for pretty much any program. Like, you lose your starting quarterback, you're generally going to end up in a pretty bad spot, and they really struggled against Penn State last week. Penn State, not exactly a monster this year, 2-6 in the Big Ten, 5-6 overall. They had no answers defensively there for the passing game, could not stop the run at all. Katron Allen had 25 carries, 160 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns against them. Singleton also had 2 rushing touchdowns against them. They gave up 231 rushing yards on 39 attempts. The Cornhuskers defense just not looking like they are up to the challenge right now. Didn't force any turnovers. It was just a lot of bad news there for a Nebraska team that is 38th in the nation, giving up 21.5 points per game, but it just doesn't really seem like that's going to hold up. They're going to be put up under a lot of pressure with the offense looking so much worse. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, Nebraska is getting 6 points at home. We've got a total of 38.5 in this one. Iowa's 7-3-1 against the spread this year. They're 7-4 to the under. Nebraska's 4-6-1 against the spread, 8-3 to the over. Guys, I'll definitely take Iowa here at anything under a touchdown. Nebraska simply isn't the same level of threat with their backup quarterback in there, and we see that trend continuing to play out this week at home against Iowa. Nebraska couldn't keep pace last week on the road against Penn State, losing there 10-37. Even though these teams both stand 7-4 overall, Iowa is clearly the more dangerous team at this point when playing to their potential. Iowa ranks a very impressive 8th in the nation total defense, and for Nebraska to have a shot at covering the spread, they'll have to hope for a very low-scoring contest. We see Iowa getting plenty of points on the board in this one and getting the comfortable win and cover. Next up, guys, we're going to take a look at the Air Force Falcons going on the road to take on the Colorado State Rams. Air Force not having the season of their dreams, guys. They're 3-8 overall. They're coming off a 20-3 blowout loss there against New Mexico, and yeah, it's just not their season. The Falcons are having a rough time, and that game against New Mexico, the Lobos really laid it on them. I mean, 20-3 sounds like not that bad. It was pretty freaking bad. Air Force, as they always do, just running the ball into the ground a billion times. 48 carries, they ended up with 110 yards. Wow, that is bleak. They barely got on the board in this one at all. It was terrible. Josh Johnson managed to throw an interception despite throwing the ball only 6 times. Things just went from bad to worse there for Air Force. It looked really bad on the offensive side of the ball. They also fumbled it away once. It was just, nothing was headed in the right direction. Defensively, they were able to make things a little bit tough there on New Mexico. I mean, they gave up only 20 points in the game, gave up 105 passing yards. They limited the running attack, but weren't able to stop it, giving up 2 rushing touchdowns in that game and 172 yards on 40 carries. So they slowed it down, but like I said, we're not able to really bring it to a halt. And when you're put in the constant bad situations there by the offense, you're just not going to have a great day out there. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them, but it's not looking ideal. Over the course of the season, they are 117th in the nation, giving up 31.2 points per game. Their rushing numbers generally look good, but they are not having a good time, especially against anything that even approaches better competition. And they're taking on a Colorado State team that comes into this game only 2-9 on the season, so not exactly having the time of their dreams. They are fresh off a 49-21 loss there at Boise State, so that's not exactly what you love to see, but we'll see what they can do here. Firing their head coach can kind of turn things around sometimes, and in that game against Boise State, we did like what we saw from Curry at some points, passed for nearly 300 yards and a couple touchdowns. He was picked off 3 times, so that's not great. The wide receiver group had a good day. We also saw a fumble via the turnover, so you can't turn the ball over 4 times, but they were moving it up and down the field pretty well. Now, this defense is pretty bad. They were going up against a very good Boise State team, so we will cut them some slack in this one, but they couldn't stop the run and couldn't stop the pass. So it was a pretty tough look there for the Rams, who are having an atrocious season. There's no way around that. They're 106th in the nation in points against. They did show us a little bit of something last week, though, I have to say that. And looking at these numbers, they're getting 2.5 points at home. We've got a total of 46.5 in this game. Air Force is only 4-7 against the spread this season. They are 6-5 to the over. Colorado State is 4-7 against the spread. They are 7-4 to the under. Guys, despite all those nice things I wanted to say about Colorado State, we're taking Air Force in this one at -2.5. They're a real football team. Once Colorado State fired their head coach, it signaled the end of the Rams' expectations this season, and that's played out as Colorado State stands just 2-9 overall and 1-6 in the Mountain West. Colorado State's one of the weaker teams in the MWC on both sides of the ball, ranking 114th in the nation offense, 119th in defense. In their last home game, they couldn't do much to slow down UNLV, losing 10-42. Although Air Force has been trending in the wrong direction, the Falcons bring in the clear edge on the offensive side of the ball. Also, overall team injuries are much more of a concern on the side of Colorado State. Even with Air Force having their starting quarterback out, the Falcons can plug and play the next man up, as they typically are more prepared for this than other teams. Given the type of offense they deploy, I'll definitely take Air Force to get the win and cover in this one. Next up, guys, in one of the biggest games of the day, we're looking at the number 4 Georgia Bulldogs going on the road to take on number 23 Georgia Tech. The Bulldogs are 10-1 this season. They are fresh off a 35-3 beat down there against Charlotte, but their last real test, they looked great, a 35-10 win there over Texas. So well played there. The Bulldogs continue to just put up win after win. Their only loss this season was by 3 points against Alabama. This team just continues to roll. We're not going to really dive too deep into that game against Charlotte. Not a lot to be gleaned from that. That game was over before it started. But in their win over the Longhorns, Gunnar Stockton looked good. 4 touchdowns, but 1 interception, so keep an eye on that. The running game looked good. 128 total yards on 35 carries, so nothing to really feel bad about there. Only that 1 turnover in the game. The defense looked excellent, really messing up, making things difficult there for Arch Manning, picking him off once, but giving up 251 passing yards and a passing touchdown there. They did stop the run. That was a good look, but didn't generate any turnovers besides that 1 interception. So we'll see what they can do here playing, on the road in this game. Now this game will be played in Georgia, obviously, but still, the Bulldogs have a lot to lose in a game like this. I don't think they can get bumped out of the college football playoff, but their seeding could get drastically impacted. So we'll see what they can do. They're 12th in the nation, giving up 17.4 points per game. So that definitely looks pretty good right now. They're heading to Georgia Tech to take on a very solid Yellow Jackets team that is 9-2 on the season. They're fresh off a disappointing 42-28 loss last week against Pitt. Overall this season, they've looked good. They knocked out Clemson. They knocked off Duke. They knocked off Syracuse in a blowout. We'll see what they can do in this one, playing at home and trying to play spoiler a little bit, and still with plenty to play for themselves. The Yellow Jackets in their last game looked bad. Haynes King, not great. 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Struggled through the air a little bit. Still had 257 passing yards, though. He also looked great on the ground. 20 carries for 76 yards and a rushing touchdown. This team can move the ball. And Hayes, King is a monster. He's a dynamic offensive player. So we'll see what he can do in this one against a very tough defense. Now, defensively last week, nothing was working. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. It was a really, really bad game out there for the Yellow Jackets in general. But overall this season, they have not been a bad defensive team. Giving up 25 points per game is not the end of the world in college football, especially when you have an offense that is currently ranked 21st in the nation, putting up 34, almost 35 points per game. So there's a lot to like here about Georgia Tech right now, especially the fact they're getting 2 full touchdowns in this game. We've got a total of 59.5. Georgia's only 5-6 against the spread. They're 6-5 to the under. Georgia Tech, 6-5 against the spread, 7-4 to the over. I don't have a lean really on the total in this game, except for maybe to side towards the under, but I like Georgia Tech here getting 2 touchdowns quite a bit. Although we like Georgia to come through with the win. This feels like too many points to give the Yellow Jackets. If it wasn't for an unbelievably poor start from Georgia Tech last week, the Yellow Jackets actually showed a lot of positives through the final 2 to 3 quarters of their loss to Pittsburgh. They are 5th in the nation in offensive output. We feel the Yellow Jackets have the offensive output to hang in there against the Bulldogs. Georgia Tech also needs this resume win badly, so expect a big effort out of them. Georgia doesn't need this win as badly as Georgia Tech does, and that could make the difference in not covering the spread of this, a huge magnitude. Last but not least, guys, we've got a very exciting nightcap in this one. We've got number 25 Arizona going on the road, kind of, to take on number 20 Arizona State. Now, the Wildcats, the Arizona Wildcats, they come into this game 8-3 on the season. They've won 4 in a row, taking down Colorado, Kansas, Cincinnati, and their last time out, a 41-17 blowout win there over a floundering Baylor Bears team. Now, in that win, the Wildcats looked great, obviously. I mean, loving what we're seeing in terms of quarterback play, although that one interception last week wasn't great, but the running game looked dominant. 172 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns last week. Very, very good stuff there. Didn't fumble the ball away at all, and the defense was nuts. Picked off Robertson twice there, so 2 interceptions, a total of 3 total turnovers generated in this game. Only 1 passing touchdown and 162 yards allowed through the air. They did give up quite a bit to the run, so that is something to keep an eye on. Gave 181 rushing yards, albeit on 45 rushing attempts. So not a terrible day defensively. Obviously, give up only 17 points. It's a very good day in college football. They're also an excellent defensive team over the course of the year. 24th in the nation, giving up 20 points per game. So we'll see what they can do here against their in-state rivals. The Arizona State Sun Devils are 8-3 on the season. They won 3 in a row, taking down Iowa State, West Virginia, and Colorado over that span, and they blew out Colorado in Colorado their last time out. A 42-17 beatdown. We liked what we saw from Sims, although he also was picked off once, had 2 touchdown passes and 206 yards through the air. The running attack looked nuts. 45 carries, 355 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns for Arizona State. That was a dominant performance there on the ground. The question is, will they be able to replicate that? We'll have to wait and see. Their defense looked excellent, giving up only 17 points, albeit against a very bad opponent. They limited but didn't stop the run. They limited but didn't stop the pass. Generated 1 turnover was all, but still gave up only 17 points. An elite level performance for sure. Over the course of the year, they're not an elite defensive team necessarily, giving up 23 points per game. That's 54th in college football. Looking at the numbers for this one, guys, we see the Sun Devils are getting 1.5 points here playing at home. We've got a total of 48.5 in this game. Arizona's 7-4 against the spread. They're 7-4 to the under. Arizona State's 5-1 against the spread. They are 7-4 to the under as well. I do think it's worthwhile to lean towards under 48.5 in this game. Both teams are going to want to run the ball. We'll see how much success they have, but in terms of a side, I will certainly take Arizona here at -1.5. We saw Arizona State take advantage of a terrible Colorado defensive front in their last outing, as Sun Devils were able to heavily rely on their ground game to beat the Buffaloes. I don't see them being able to do something as one-dimensional this week against a much more accomplished Arizona defense. Even though Arizona State has won 8 games, this isn't the same level of team they were a season ago, especially with their starting quarterback out. Arizona has taken an impressive step forward this year, and we give the Wildcats the edge on both sides of the ball here coming into this rivalry game. Take the road team to come through for us here with the win and cover, and a play that will definitely be in the pinned comment. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description, getting over to stumpthespread.com, and taking advantage of those Black Friday pricing options. It's a fantastic thing that you can take advantage of, whether you're a prospective first-time member or if you're somebody looking to stay a member. This is the perfect time to add on. You get a steep discount. So definitely take advantage of that, guys. So many sports going on. It's a fantastic time to get in the mix. Also, get over to stumpthespread.com, check out those free picks, and get on that free email newsletter. It is a fantastic resource that you definitely need to take advantage of. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.